What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to talk about what's going on with the overall market, talk about SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and all these different tickers, and break down how we're looking when it comes to the pump that we're seeing. But before I begin down all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100 to the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, now let's break down what's going on with the market. Looking at SPY, we got this crazy run, a very monstrous push up to about 482 right now. We also broke above the 482s temporarily before we ended up seeing a small retracement, and overall it's still testing 482, pushing up very hard. The question is, why is the market pushing like this? What made this very evident, at least to me, when I said that we may be making the new all-time highs, and how should we be looking at SPY from this point on? I'll be talking about this in just a few minutes. I just want to mention briefly that we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report stronger than expectations, and overall, the 5-year inflationary expectations were below expectations, which is once again good. So all the data was quite decent overall, and this helps the market actually push because we're expecting a decrease in inflation according to reports. Now, as the market is once again holding up because of this, the market actually started to squeeze. This was just one factor. We also saw a short squeeze thanks to how many puts that there were expiring on SPY. We had a 1.7 puts to call ratio, and this thing is well above max pain. We're actually going to close well above max pain at this point. SPY is still holding up nicely. So what happened? What are some levels to watch for? I just want to mention that, let me actually switch over to this chart first. For Aapl, I called out Aapl as being one of the driving factors of this rally. The reason for that is because we had a double bottom like formation on Aapl. And then secondly, we have this unfilled gap. We had this big gap to fill up here around the low 192s. We basically came extremely close to filling it. We're about to fill it. So this would have led the market to pushing after Aapl got this monstrous run. That's one factor. On top of this, we're looking at the technicals, which showed more potential upside, especially after this daily close, and the fact that we got a bullish crossover on the PPO on the 4-hour time frame. So as far as SPY goes, although there's a bearish divergence developing on it, it's still developing, and there's no sign of this thing stopping right now. It is still very strong. It's still trying to push up, so we shouldn't just start shorting for no reason. You need to wait for confirmation before trying to do that, and that's not financial advice. So what are some levels to watch for? SPY has resistance around the very low 482s. If we break this, there's 482.75. Above that, we'll be watching where it goes to the 483s, but basically, it still has potential to push. For support, we're barely above 482, so watch that carefully. If we lose that, we could be coming back down to 481 flats. That's kind of like where we retraced to, the very low 481s. If we lose that, there's 480. If we lose 480, we could be coming back down to about 478. As of right now, we're holding up. We look very strong. This thing is just kind of dancing around the 482s. It is favoring the bulls, causing a massive short squeeze, and much of the move is already done with, so be careful trying to play up here. I personally wouldn't really touch it at this point because I'm already done with my position. I already took profits and everything. I don't really see myself holding anything over the weekend, at least for the time being, if I'm going to be honest. So this was, this was a really nice move. SPY is once again kind of dancing around this area. It's trying to reject a bit off the 482s, but it's not really tanking or anything. It's just kind of shuffling. So that's what I'm seeing for SPY. On the QQQ, this is very strong as well. This actually broke out above what many of us were talking about. I mentioned that if we got above 418, watch for a push for 420. This did come on the QQQ, but we actually went a little bit higher than that. We actually managed to touch 421. So you could see that every dollar kind of acts as a resistance once we break these highs. So for instance, we had 418. I told you if we broke this, we could be getting very close to 420, and we rejected very close to 421. Now the QQQ is kind of shuffling in the 420 area. If we lose this, watch 419 and 418 as two supports. 418 is going to be the bigger support because we did bounce off of this. So I'm going to make this a little bit bolder. This is more significant. We might not hold. I'm not sure about 419. It's not that strong. But 418 would be your next target if we do end up getting a big rejection. If we try pushing, watch 421. If that breaks, my next target is going to be 422.5. Overall, QQQ is still looking very, very strong, still holding up nicely, still favors the bulls. So we'll see if this can continue pushing. If anything, with this nice uptrend on the QQQ, once I zoom out like this, you could see it's just uptrending very, very nicely. Very, very nice uptrend like this. It's very parabolic and it's favoring the bulls big time. This is very, very important. Now, on top of this, what else is driving the QQQ would have to be Nvda. I mentioned in the morning that Nvidia had some bullish news with Meta buying up those AI chips, the H100 graphics chips. Very, very important. With these graphic processors coming up in demand and the AI mania just making up more and more headlines, we're seeing Nvidia pushing thanks to this. I mentioned to you all that if we got above 585, watch for a push towards 590. Now, if we break above, we basically have some resistance at 592. There's some very tight levels on video, so there's 592 and then 595. And I think if we get above 595, our next target is basically 600, which is pretty insane. There will be some minor resistance at 597.5 though, but I would still watch anyways. I'm gonna make this really bold just to like make this as clear as possible. So if we get above 595, our next target is gonna be all the way up towards our next level. 595 is where we have some more resistance, not to mention up, 600 would be our next target if we break that. So I'd be watching those levels if we do get a breakout next week. For now, it's kind of shuffling in the 590s and might just continue to do so. Watch support at 587. If we lose that, there's 585-ish, this zone right here. It's actually specifically like 584.84, but very close to 585. And if that fails us, we could be sinking back down closer to about 580. For now, Nvidia is holding up, favoring the bulls. It might just continue to hold up as the day goes on. Not looking bad whatsoever. For Apple stock, and this, I'm going to talk about Apple before I talk about Tesla. Apple pushed up to exactly 192. You guys could see how it's reacted to almost every dollar level. So basically, we had 189 here, tried to push up, got above 190. So you could see this was resistance right here. Broke above this. It actually managed to break above 191 pretty quickly, so it wasn't as strong of resistance. The stronger resistance would have been like right here, so we're actually still holding up very nicely. I'd watch this level 190.5 if anything. Since it broke through this, our next target was 192 basically, and now it's kind of just like trading around this. It's kind of shuffling between 191 and 192. If it does break down, watch 191 as support, followed by 190.5. If that fails us, I'll be watching 189 and then 188. For resistance, we have 192, 192.5. If that breaks, there's 193.5 coming. Overall, I think the majority of the move is done, and it might just shuffle between these ranges for the rest of the day. There's not much going on with Apple for the rest of the day, but overall, it still favors the bulls. Last but not least, we have Tesla. My prediction for Tesla was that Tesla would shuffle between supply and demand. I said that in the morning. That is what happened to Tesla. Back and forth, back and forth. It just stayed within its range. However, Tesla is starting to show some life. It's trying to get back above 212, although it is struggling to hold above it. It is trying. It is making an attempt to hold 212. So if we could hold above this, there is potential for it to try to bounce, forming kind of like a double or even a triple bottom. And we could actually look at Tesla from its 4-hour time frame, and you'll notice that we have a bullish divergence forming, which suggests that there might be an attempt to bounce towards this imbalance at 216. There is potential for it to bounce, but I just want to note that I'm not going to just randomly just jump in. I would just either manage risks or just wait just for some time to see if you get that break before entering. But right now, we have 212 as key resistance. We're kind of toying with this level. If it breaks above that, the next key resistance is actually around 213.8 historically. If it breaks above that, we have this 216 imbalance that's coming next. And if we get above that, we're going to likely run all the way up to 220. Now, right now, Tesla's trying to fight at 212. It's having a hard time really breaking and holding this level. So we'll see how Tesla does. If we reject again, our support is at this 210 area and then 208. If we lose 208, 205 is next, and below that, we're going to have a bigger drop. So for now, make sure you watch these levels. Otherwise, Tesla has been range bound throughout the entire day. But now it's trying to break 212. We'll see if it can try to keep going. It is showing some life now. Let's hope Tesla could try to break this resistance. Let's see if Tesla could hold this level. And let's see where we end up closing. Can we close above 212 or not? That's going to be key for this stock. All right, so thank you for listening. Hopefully this video was helpful, guys. SPY is going to the moon, so is the QQQ. These things have been breaking all-time highs, and as they continue to push, once again, guys, the majority of the move is done. I personally already took profits. I'm not really playing anything else for the rest of the day. But hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully I provided you guys with some good insights, and I'll see you guys very soon for the next video. Have a great day, guys. Remain calm, cool, and collected, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one, going into the next couple of hours. Thank you, and peace out.